Now you're transgender.
Now I'm for it.
Okay. Or do like what are those monks?
See, we never
Leg spread.
Hey, we didn't know, but we've been for the transitions all around. All right, so we got a special guest in the house who traveled from South Carolina with the homie right here.
Yes.
And we're gonna get to talking a little bit about how things are on that side of the world, because it seems like we're in completely different countries. When I visited over there, it just seemed like so different.
It honestly feels like it's a different. You got it right, countries, but like some areas, it's like different world. For example, like you go to Citrus Heights or like Rio Linda or something like that, and then you come here. Like he even said he went to Rancho Cordova. And he's like, man, today he was telling me, he's like, I expected California to look way better than this. He looked like a straight up, like, dude, you know, yeah. He's like, you look like straight up, like poor looking.
Like a village?
State. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you haven't been in El Dorado Hills. You haven't been in San Francisco.
Nicer areas.
I'm like, you haven't been in Roseville. I'm like, wait until we get to Roseville. You'll see. We came to Roseville and he's in the backseat. He's like, yeah, we're in a. You can definitely tell the difference. We're in a different, totally different,
different world. It's like
different world, like way different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that everywhere though.
Yeah.
Any place you go to LA, you go to some high end places, everything looks super, super nice and rich. And then down the street, there's homeless bums and crackheads everywhere. Everything's beat up and broke down, you know?
Yeah.
Well, LA too. LA's really nice, but it's kind of getting out of pocket with all the homelessness and all the problems they're having right now. And unfortunately, even like Venice Beach, bro, we've been there.
That's garbage.
Last year we've been there, and bro, and it was like crackheads everywhere, people smoking and selling weed on the beach. Like it just didn't look good at all. And it's like, what happened to Venice Beach? That was like a known spot, you know? So I think in SoCal or whatever, I think some of the better areas where it's more like expensive, that's where they're nice. Because most people can't really hang around there. Like Orange County, that's probably the place I would live in if I lived in down LA, you know?
Yeah, Orange County's pretty nice.
That's probably where I would be. But back to that thing, you know, he says, hey, I was looking like, okay, where's the real California that we know about? And you went there and saw all this doo-doo. It's not what he thought. Maybe he saw it on the movies or something. Ask him, how did he get his idea of what California should look like?
Он спрашивает, ты откуда идею взял за Калифорнию, что ты ожидал, что она там лучше должна выглядеть или вообще намного по-другому, как ты ожидал?
Потому что у нас с нашего села очень много людей, которые уехали в Калифорнию, именно в Сакраменто. И просто реально очень много людей уехали, и у меня просто такое впечатление складывалось, даже бывало, один там говорил, что Сакраменто и вообще Америка, и Сакраменто — это рай на земле.
Сейчас я переведу.
I feel like he said something about like heaven on earth.
He said that some people from his с Украины, да?
Да.
From Ukraine moved out here. They came from Ukraine all the way to California, and they said that California is like a heaven on earth to them. So he expected, because of what he heard, he expected it to be different. And then when he came to visit, and he visited where they stay, and that they think is heaven on earth, to him it didn't look promising, you know.
Yeah,
but
well,
you know, they're in Rancho.
Yeah, it all depends where you live, you know.
Yeah.
So how is it, like, you guys all are from South Carolina, like we're here in California. It seems like on the internet everybody thinks that California is wild, like the craziest shit you could see on the planet. You know, everybody thinks that everybody's gay here, like bums everywhere, like, you know, how is that what everybody thinks over there about California?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, everybody's just homeless and gay, bro. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm not homeless and I'm not gay, so.
Yeah.
Hey, but you lived here.
You found one.
You lived here
I
for
lived
like
here.
the majority of your life.
Here's the thing. I lived here for 16 years, 15 years. And when I moved, it wasn't this bad. And then I came to visit over time, and I started, like, I see how much homelessness happening in Rio Linda. So many, like, the streets are packed.
But you're talking about the doo-doo places in Sac,
yeah,
so you can't compare shit to shit.
Exactly, yeah. But like that's the difference I noticed. You know, is the homelessness got out of hand. You know, even driving on freeways, you know, you under bridges in the bushes, you see tents and trash everywhere. You know, that's the difference that I noticed. But other than that, you know, since I've been here, everything expanded, like construction wise, everything, like buildings, like really nice neighborhoods and nice like areas. It's not. Last time I was here, like a while ago, before I moved, it was like a lot of just empty yellow fields, you know. And I come back here, and now it's like houses, neighborhoods, and like you know, brand new facilities, brand new. Like it's beautiful now. Like driving through areas I used to drive is beautiful. You know, it's not no longer. It's like empty fields and land, and yellow, and like makes you know puts out a vibe of a desert. You know.
So how is it politically where you guys are from? Like, what's the vibe like? Like Trump just got indicted, like 4 times, 90 something counts of arrest and crazy stuff.
Over there, everybody changed their mind on like a lot of Democrats. They're for Trump now. You know, a lot of people like they have stickers voted for Biden with a crossed out and like, you know, Trump 2024, you know, like people changing their mind. They hating what's going on, you know. So it's I definitely see a difference in like change of mind of people. They hate what's going on.
That's
you know?
South Carolina though, right?
Yeah.
That's a red state, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a red.
So earlier I said something about Carolina and you corrected me and said North. This is not North, it's South Carolina.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the North and the South of the Carolinas?
Where North Carolina is liberal and Democrats. All of them,
everyone
they pro everything. Pretty much that's a blue state.
Okay.
They vote basically. Majority of them are for Democrats. So that's the difference. So that's where South Carolina separates from.
And is that why they probably like? So is it like weird when you guys go up there?
No, it's
bro.
The only difference that I noticed. The only difference that I noticed is gas prices.
They're more expensive?
Yeah, the North Carolina is like almost 70 cents higher than South Carolina.
So how you feel about Trump being arrested in Georgia and his mugshot posted? Obviously, we've seen so many arrests that it's not even funny. But how you feel about the new mugshot that
I think
was released?
I think what it does is it's helping him out. I really think that everything that's going on is making people wake up. Even though the Democrats trying to pressure him and try to put him out there, look how bad he is. Look, he's got a lot of crap against him. But I can see from a lot of social media that people they're laughing at that as like that's just helping him out. A lot of people are seeing it. If they're putting up so much resistance against him, then he must be doing something right. So,
well, it's true. I think you're right. Things are definitely changing. Like I can see the vibe is changing.
Yeah.
I can see like really top-notch figures like Joe Rogan. I can see Patrick Bet-David, Elon Musk, that guy Tucker Carlson. They're all kind of starting to move around Trump, and some people are actually thinking that. I got a guy that I know a guy online. He posted a video talking about how they're making a prediction that they're thinking that Tucker with Elon Musk and Trump are going to try to create some sort of super PAC for 2028 or 26, whenever the new campaigns will come up after Trump, so that Tucker Carlson could be running for president. He has a big crowd. Elon Musk is going to endorse him, and then Donald Trump will endorse him for the MAGA crowd. Because what's kind of going on right now is a lot of people used to like Ron DeSantis, right?
Ron DeSantis.
So a lot of people used to like Ron DeSantis. But ever since he got on the wrong side of the aisle, kind of against Trump because he's trying to, become a president. I don't damn near like him that much either because it's kind of like, seems like he's coming off weak. He's coming off like a backstabber because Trump said, he's like, dude, I endorsed you, and now you're kind of running against me. So like, I know he felt like he had to take his shot, but I feel like it's just making him look weak. Then they go and do the debates and it seems like he didn't even win that. It's like, bruh.
It's the same thing, just like the Mike Pence. I had a lot of respect for him in the beginning. Like I looked at him like, man, that's a godly man. That's Mike Pence has got our back. But right when they were voting and like doing all that, straight up backstab. When I was watching what's going on, he's a backstabber. I felt like a knife went into my back, and since then, every time I see his face, I'm like, just like, I don't even want to hear his dumbass voice.
Every time I see his freaking white hair, I think about
see
the
the
freaking fly that posted on his head way back in the day. And like every time I hear him talking, like I can't figure it out. Like I'm like, I don't know. It makes me feel like, it makes me look for the fly or whatever. Remember that when that fly was on his head for how long and everybody, that's all they focused about? Like nobody remembered the debate. Everybody just remembered the fly on his head. That's how I am with him.
The fly got more fame than he did.
Exactly. So, and then the funny thing, this is the thing that I find funny about Mike Pence being in this race. Bro, you're running against the guy who was president with you, and if you talk crap about him, you kind of talk crap about you because that was your guys' administration. You were pretty much the second president. As a vice president, you're you know,
second in power, second in
exactly. So
right hand man, basically.
Right. So you could never bash him because if you let's say that Mike Pence actually did make it to be between him and Donald Trump, if they were to have a debate, how would that look like? Think about it.
I'm sure Trump knows everything about
Trump is like, man,
he's like, bro,
your wife already told me that little pee-pee. Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
He said, yeah. Can you confirm that? He's like, no, I ain't seen it yet. You know what I'm saying? But that is kind of weird, you know? And it's kind of the vibe and the stuff like between the different states or whatever, because I know that where you guys are from, it's like a smaller population place. So I don't know. Like you said, there's mostly like Republican, but I'm just kind of thinking like, is it like Republican or is it like the, you know, some people say like super hardcore right?
Well,
it's rednecks, bro.
A lot of them.
So rednecks like MAGA Max.
Yeah,
I almost feel like they give people. I feel like they give some of us a bad name though.
You see,
they be doing some out of pocket stuff.
I don't know. Over there, like I still see trucks driving around with flags, Trump flags around. You know, people.
Them fools never got over. It's like the ex-girlfriend they could never get over.
No, that South Carolina's got so many lakes and like boats. A lot of people own boats. And
what does that got to do with Trump,
bro? You go. No, I'm talking about you go on the lake. When I go on the lake, all the time I see boats with flags, Trump flags, and then when the Trump rally, bro, so many boats. It's like,
what about the hose
for Trump? Well, no
hose.
Yeah,
only
I
boats.
didn't see any.
Be careful if his girlfriend watches this. Go.
А я хожу с украинским флагом.
Huh? No, he said he represents Ukrainian flag. He walks around with.
Oh yeah, so we're about to get to him right now. So he came from Ukraine. You like Putin or no?
No.
I don't have to translate.
No?
I don't gotta translate that.
No Putin? What about, you like that, you know, Putin just recently came out with a new law that's illegal to be a transgender.
Он справедливо. Сейчас Путин издал новый закон, что это нелегально быть трансвеститом. Твое мнение?
Трансвеститом.
Я не знаю, ну Москва и вообще Россия против всего этого, но там их самое больше, всех этих трансвеститов, голубых и так далее.
He said that, you know, Moscow is against all of this stuff, but he said, but majority of them are there, like trans and gays and all that.
In the bigger cities.
Yeah, in the bigger cities and in Moscow.
That's
basically
usually how it is. One question for him too is like he came here about a year and a half ago. And we're kind of used to the vibe. We're kind of used to all the stuff because they've been pushing it down our throats for so long.
Yeah.
We're pretty much getting conditioned to it. But when he came out here and seen all the craziness that's going on, what did he think of America?
Когда ты переехал сюда в Америку, у тебя какое мнение создалось о Америке, о людях, о все, что происходит здесь?
Во-первых, когда только пересекли мы границу, то сразу радость наполнила просто, что наконец-то нас пропустили, потому что мы стояли в Мексике, через Мексику заезжали на границе, стояли очень долгое время.
He said that at first, when they finally crossed the border, they were filled with joy that they finally got through, because they were sitting on the border, him and his wife and a 3-month-old. Sitting on the border waiting for a long time just for them to look over the paperwork and let them through.
So he came basically he left because I heard his story a little bit earlier. He left as a refugee, or he kind of had to pay somebody. He escaped Ukraine. They had to pay him some money at the border to get into like Poland or Romania, Moldova, then to like Romania and all that. And then from there, they took a plane and went to Mexico.
Yeah.
And from Mexico, they tried to basically sneak into the border, but they allowed them to come in.
Он спрашивает, вы пытались границу с Мексики на Америку просто как пересечь нелегально, или вы хотели...
Не, все легально. На тот момент открыли границы.
Yeah, he said that they weren't trying to pass illegally. They went through the procedure, like
like a refugee kind
refugee paperwork, passports, all of that at the border.
Was there a lot of people like that coming
Было
in?
много людей, которые таким способом.
Очень. В Тихуане, особенно Тихуана, там уже лагеря стояли, люди ждали своей очереди неделями.
He said in Tijuana there was like camps set up for weeks, waiting their turn and trying to come through legally.
What kind of races of people would you find? What kind of countries?
Какие расы людей было? Ты видел там самое больше?
Только Украина заходила.
He said most Ukrainians. He didn't
Really?
see any
What about the Mexicans? You guys hung out with Mexicans?
Мексиканцы видели там?
Да, конечно. Мексиканцы тоже, у них своя очередь была, у нас
Mexicans had their own line and Ukrainians had their own camps. Like they were separated. Like
that is crazy. Were they letting in a lot of Mexicans too?
Мексиканцев пускали много?
Да, очень много.
Yeah, anybody who wanted to come?
И еще мексиканцы шли то с рулем от машины, то с аккумулятором, то с джамбаксом.
He said it was so funny to see how some Mexicans, some would come in, try to cross border with the steering wheel, holding a steering wheel.
Why?
He said another one was walking with a battery, another one with some kind of a battery pack.
Dang.
I don't know why. He said it was funny to see that. Like, why would they need a steering wheel?
Кто-то на велосипедах.
He said some people on bicycles, trying to answer.
Wow, that is pretty wild. Because like we just see it on the news, right? But we don't really know if it's true or how easy it is to get in or whatever. So once you get there, what happens? Somebody picked you up and took you. Where did you go?
Пропустили через саму границу, что дальше? Тебя кто-то подбирает или?
Да, нас с Сакрамента приехал наш родственник, он забрал нас прямо оттуда и приехали в Лос-Анджелес, дальше на самолет и в Саут-Каролайну.
His relative came from Sacramento, picked them up at the border, took them to LA, got them on a plane, and on the plane they flew to South Carolina.
So why did he pick to be in South Carolina?
Ну, что ты выбрал в Саут-Каролайну поехать?
Потому что там живут моей жены родственники, сестра родная.
Because his wife's sister and some relatives lived in South Carolina.
Oh, okay, so you just had some family there, but not really like a specific reason besides that?
Just because family was there. And
они буквально за год до войны переехали туда. А так они жили тоже здесь.
He said they approximately a year before the war started, they moved from Ukraine to America. And they lived в Sacramento жили, да?
Да.
They lived in Sacramento for a while.
Oh,
and
his
then
family?
They moved, her family.
The ones that moved.
And they moved to South Carolina, and that's why like they kind of encouraged them to come.
So
to South Carolina.
when the war started, was it just like it was on TV, like bombs dropping, people shooting each other? Like was it like that?
Когда война началась, там как оно было, как бомбы взрывались, там стреляли.
Мы жили в Одессе. Одесса. В 4 утра мне просто позвонил моей жены брат и говорит, ты слышал, что начались взрываться бомбы? Мы в 5 утра все были уже на ногах. Мы быстро сели в свои машины и поехали на заправку.
He said at 4 o'clock in the morning, they got a call. They live in Odessa, and they got a call from their relative, and the relative said, have you heard? They started bombing the cities, and by 5 o'clock they got up and got in the cars, went to the gas stations, filled up full tanks.
And they ran away?
Yeah, and then they tried to escape from there.
Мы в 5 утра выехали, и все заправки были забиты полностью. А мы заправлялись на тех заправках, типа как тракстапы, знаешь, там отдаленные заправки. И мы там заправлялись, и мы туда, и там не было очереди вообще, мы успели.
At 5 in the morning, all the gas stations were packed with like lines of cars waiting to get fuel. But they went to like a truck stops, areas where there's not that much waiting, and they fueled up at the truck stops.
Does he have any relatives that died in the war?
У тебя есть родственники, которые на войне погибли?
Родственников нет. Отец воевал, он 8 месяцев провоевал.
His father still there, and his father was like fully active in war for 8 months.
Oh,
And he was on the front line.
is it still going on? Like,
Оно еще там происходит, да,
Да, но он уже ушел. У него из-за того, что в окопе сидели в воде постоянно, у него со спиной были проблемы, ему делали операцию, и он уже не воюет.
He got discharged because they spent a lot of time in a what do you call those when they dig in soldiers sit in
ditch, like a ditch,
there? Yeah, like ditches,
trenches.
yeah. And the trenches would fill up with water and stuff, and they would sit in the cold water and stuff. And he got really sick. He had surgeries and stuff, and they tried to like fix his back and fix his health. And after that, and they ended up discharging him because of health issues.
But is it still going on like it is, like it was, or is it just calmed down now?
Война продолжается дальше, как раньше, или уже успокоилась чуть?
Ничего не успокаивается вообще. Путин не успокаивается.
He said nothing's coming down. It's just as it was. You know, cities are getting demolished. It just keeps
So
going.
they just keep on going. We just don't hear about it on the news anymore.
Yeah, it
so
got old.
like,
the news got old, but
they got tired of it, but it's still going on.
But it's still going on active. Right now, he even showed me a lot. They're doing it as like they're doing it as fun nowadays. They got drones showing how people are fighting, drones flying around, video recording.
On like TikTok or something?
Yeah, recording an actual fight, and then soldiers got cameras where they're showing the actual fight,
So how you feel like, okay, like I'll ask you this question. How you feel about all the money that we've been sending to like Ukraine?
I don't support that.
You think it's going in the hands of the wrong people maybe?
Yeah, I know this for a fact that majority of money that goes there gets stolen. So what are we supporting? It makes no sense.
Well, that's my problem. Like in the beginning, we're all kind of like, "Oh, screw this fool Putin," and all damn, and send as much money as you can. But then you're starting to realize that they're funding the war, and it's almost like, and everybody says it, and everybody knows it, and Putin knows it too. It seems like the Americans and the Europeans are fighting against Putin through them, but that's like almost like the almost like a setup camp, so their hands are not dirty. But you're like, here's the stuff. Fighting, so many Ukrainians are dying fighting the Russians for what? For the Americans' problems? Because it seems like it's a EU or American problem because it all came down to like.
To me, it seems like a pretty good way to launder money because you're sending in a bunch of money into a war, and this is billions. So billions could get lost, a few million, a couple $100 million here and there, and nobody's gonna know because you're sending it all into the war, and we're just gonna trust that money is actually doing something good. You don't know what's happening. You don't even know if that money is actually making it there or not. Yeah. They just see the transaction. Yep, this is going to Ukraine, and that's it.
Yeah. You never know how much actually got there.
Exactly. So you're sending billions, bro. Yeah. Like billions. And it doesn't seem like it's making a difference. So what's happening? And who's keeping these people in line with all this money? Because it seems like, here you go, you have access to billions of dollars, do what you want with it. As long as you're telling us that it's going somewhere good, then, everybody's just going to have to deal with it.
Well, here's my problem with the money that's being sent. If you guys even see this, what I'm showing on the screen here, but basically the Pentagon admitted to a error in accounting that sent $6.2 billion extra to supposedly Ukraine, but nobody really knows where it went and what happened to it. And we're talking about $6.2 billion. That's a lot of money, man.
It could have helped us out. It could have helped the American people. It could have helped.
But that's a really big sum of money. So like, what are we? We're just sending money out to places like and they made an accounting error.
Yeah,
bro, 6.2 billion.
How do you make an account error for that much money?
Можно я скажу?
Да.
Просто когда только началась война, вот очень многих людей взяли в плен в Россию. Очень многих. И он сейчас показывает...
Русские взяли в плен?
Да, русские взяли наших. И вот он сейчас говорит, откуда... Он, говорит, куда такие большие деньги, где они, да? Я так понимаю. Да. Потому...
Он... Вот это, что ты видел, это заявили, Пентагон заявил, что...
Сколько туда пошло денег?
Нет, заявил, что нашли ошибку, и 6.5 там 2 или 5
Миллион.
биллионов.
Биллион.
Исчезли, и Америка не знает, куда пошло. Они не могут понять, куда эти деньги пошли. Просто кто-то сделал ошибку, и эти деньги не ушли в Украину, а куда-то исчезли. Они не могут понять, куда они пошли. Понимаешь? То вот за это вот и говорю.
Да.
You gotta speak to the mic so I can make the Russian TikTok now.
Russian
But you know that's I don't know what he feels about that, but you know it's
Yeah.
kind of weird, you know,
Yeah, he's talking about
because he's from there, you know, so it's kind of different. They have a different view.
yeah. But видишь, вот тут оно как бы пошло в Украину, а кому они не могут понять, кому кто получил эти деньги.
Смотри, когда только началась война, дают интервью, жалко, что они не понимают русский, не могут увидеть, украинский, русский, наших новостей не могут увидеть. Когда только началась война, наших азовцев, это типа очень крутое подразделение, их разбомбили просто и взяли, забрали в плен. И он рассказывает, говорит, а что у нас было? Пару противотанковых мин и гранатомет. А сейчас что есть в Украине? Как только США начало давать там хаймерсы, вот эти, что с одного удара танк просто выносит, то сейчас мы как бы за счет этого и держимся.
He said in the beginning when the war started, you know, all that they got was all that they had, the Ukrainians was, you know, regular old school weapons that didn't do much. And there was a you know, the Russians bombed and destroyed the, you know, all the good soldiers, groups of soldiers. I don't know how they called it in English, but like the Russians destroyed them because they didn't have the right equipment. But then after a while, when you know the U.S. started supplying good equipment, you know, the whatever the tanks and just good equipment, only then the Ukrainians started to fight back because they didn't, you know, that's why, you know, a lot of Ukrainians, like they in the beginning they lost a lot because they didn't have the equipment to fight with, you know. So that's what.
So he's saying that it was a good thing we sent money for the
Money?
Equipment, but there's
equipment. Yeah,
scamming is gonna be there.
Yeah, see, equipment. Yeah, like I agree with equipment too. You know, we to help and support equipment is fine, but sending money is not a good idea.
Let me ask him, how much money you think Zelensky made?
Сколько денег, он спрашивает, ты думаешь, Зеленский заработал?
Я не знаю, как Зеленский, но очень сильно сейчас пошел беспредел в Украине, очень большой, и зарабатывают сейчас военкомы, те, кто собирает всех пацанов, отправляют, они зарабатывают, потому что простые пацаны, которые без денег, без ничего, они просто дают очень большие суммы денег, чтобы просто не пойти на войну. И они становятся богатым. Насчет Зеленского вообще не знаю.
So he don't know anything about Zelensky, but he knows that the people that are in power, that go around and find kids or like, you know, teenagers who are old enough to go to war, they find them to force them to go to war, and these kids or teenagers or young adults, they pay them a lot of money just so they don't have to go to war, and that's who makes the money are the military personnel that force people to go to war. He said that's where it's like that's where who makes the most money right now.
Okay, so what he's saying is that there's a lot of money, basically
corruption
because like people who are scared to go and fight for it, they're like, hey, we don't want to go. They say, okay, well, you got to pay me.
They'll give up their last just not to go, you know. They'll become homeless and just so give everything up that they have, just houses, whatever, paperwork, titles to the house or whatever they have to these enforcers just so they can close their eyes and don't take them to war, you know. So
they're basically trying to draft all these people, and they almost bribe them, like, hey, we'll give you this much money or the deed to our house or our land or anything.
Just leave me alone.
Just leave me and my kids and my family alone.
Exactly.
We don't want to go to war.
And they take it. They take the bait, and they're happy to take it. They'll bypass them. Okay, it's mine now. And that's who gets the rich over there right now.
Yeah, and there's no way who's going to fight against that.
Yeah.
Because the people that are taking all this money have a lot of power.
Yeah, nobody's going to fight against it. Because, you know.
So there's a lot of corruption going in there.
Yeah.
Even in that side of the fight.
Yeah. So
При такой ситуации сейчас очень сильная коррупция.
right now, he said, right now in this situation that is going on right now, it's a very bad corruption right now over there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can only imagine that the most corrupt stuff is going to happen when people are going to be more stressed for stuff when, nobody's really like trying to get shot or whatever. They'll pay, they'll do whatever it is to get out, to get in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
People that have families, man, I wouldn't want to go. I have a wife and a son that I need to raise. Who's going to raise my son? I wouldn't want to go. And I look at it as like this. It's not my fight. It's
So
not my fight.
as a Ukrainian and as somebody that has family there, is this even worth fighting this war, or is it better off to just let them deal with their own political things and let's just make everybody happy and just step back, or is it worth fighting for it and trying to take everything back? Because it doesn't seem like Ukraine is doing too good, like they're gonna win this in the end.
Yeah, well, I agree with Trump. Just my personal view. Like when they asked Trump, who do you want to win? Russia or Ukraine? He said, I want the fighting to stop.
Yeah.
No, just answer the question. Who do you want to win? And his answer is simple. I want people from stop dying. He's like, that's all I want. I want people to stop dying.
well, they asked
It
that
doesn't
question.
matter who wins. I want people to stop dying. And he said, when people stop dying, Russia's gonna go back. Everything's gonna settle.
Okay, well, you see that, like they're trying to get Trump to admit to one way or another so they can say, well, look, he said this or he said that. Who knows? Maybe he would have a preference, but I don't think he does. At this point, I don't think anyone has a preference. They just want the thing to stop.
Yeah.
Right? And then you saw all the beef that the Russians had with the Wagner group guy. You guys seen that he died?
He died?
Yeah, the Wagner group guy they let him get out of the country. He left. And then now they found him, or supposedly the plane he was in freaking crashed. Oh, nobody's fault.
Вагнера?
Да.
Умер?
Да, это правда. Да. Их сбили из скорее... кто их мог на их территории сбить?
В России?
Да, они же слышали, россияне слышали за эту ситуацию, когда Вагнер пошел на Москву, типа.
You guys heard the situation when Wagner and his group went against Putin in Russia?
Yeah, so basically what happened with Wagner group, they thought they got bombed by Putin. So they were like, we're going to rebel. And that was Putin's homie. So they went up to Russia and they were taking over some city council buildings and stuff. And it was like, we're going all the way to Moscow. We're taking him down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what happened, but then basically they told him, no, you better not, this, that. And then they were going to fight with him. And then they somehow came to an agreement. They're like, hey, just leave. We're not going to prosecute. We're going to forget all your charges and just leave. So I think what he did, he went to like Belarus, to a different country, and they were going to kind of let them get away with it, forgive them for all that.
Yeah.
Well, not that long later, I don't even know if it's been a couple months, all of a sudden he dies in a freaking plane crash.
Yeah.
And nobody's fault. It wasn't nobody's fault. Like, come on. That's us. And Putin, sorry for these guys that...
We all know what happened.
Who killed him? Who killed him? Putin?
Кто его убил? Его сбили или сам самолет упал?
Probably, right?
Сам упал, сам загорелся и упал резко.
He said based on the news, the plane caught fire and just fell.
Sure.
It was an electrical fire, bro.
Yeah, the Tesla misfired.
Потеряли управление.
Yeah, lost control, he said.
Yeah, because that really happens that often, especially to that guy,
To that
who someone would want to kill his ass, right?
Просто Путин сказал, что эти люди, которые пошли нам в спину, свои же, они понесут наказание. Это его слова были.
He said, Putin said at one point, he said, the people that went against us, they're backstabbers and they're going to pay.
Well, he paid.
Yeah,
He did.
they did, I guess.
And a bunch of other people that died with him and, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if we go back to Trump, like a lot of people are saying that them getting a mugshot from him was kind of out of pocket, right?
Yeah.
So
Hey, he wanted that though. You don't remember?
Look
He said he wanted the
Dude,
the
look
mug.
how gangster he looks, bro. What kind of country is gonna be like?
He doesn't look scared, bro.
honestly,
Bro,
when
look
I
at him.
saw
He
the
looks-
mugshot, I thought it was manipulated with the filter.
Like it was fake.
Yeah, I thought it was a fake shot, but then I was like, no, it's real.
Well, didn't you hear him say this is gonna be the most badass mugshot ever?
Yeah, bro.
Taken.
Look at that,
Bro.
If you were some country that has beef with the U.S., would you go against that if he became a president again?
This fool wild,
I would
bro.
be like, dude.
I mean, after his reputation, no.
He's basically
He's
like
already done 4 years.
yeah.
I wouldn't mess with Trump 4 years ago.
Yeah, but if he gets back in the office and remembering the 4 years that he did, I would be worried about doing anything against a president like that.
I think Donald Trump now, he's got the face, so he got the mugshot, he got the indictments. He's a felon, bruh. He's out here committing felonies and shit. So he's a real live mob boss. You better not mess with him. If a mob boss get in the office, it's over.
That's what you call gangster.
That's the definition of old school gangster. Like,
and that's $1 billion gangster.
He'll put the hammer on you, boy.
Yeah.
He gonna hammer, and now everybody, even the hood, is on his side. You didn't see the videos of people in the hood like, oh, what's happening? And they're like, yeah, he rolling deep. He pulled up with like 150 motorcycles supposedly with like, I don't think 150, but like that's what I seen somewhere online. It just said,
it wasn't 150.
Yeah, somebody said like 150 deep, or maybe how many people? I don't know. But anyway,
it was a lot, but that's normal for president.
Yeah, but everybody's like, damn, look how he moving. He moving like this. Yeah, he doing it big.
Yeah.
And he's bouncing back, sounds like, bro, they said that in 3 days after he released the mugshot, he made $7 million.
Just because of the mugshot,
yeah.
He sold T-shirts with his mugshot.
But not even that.
I would wear a T-shirt with that.
Really?
I looked at the comments. All right, well, I'm going to look at the comments.
I would buy one.
Bro, I would buy a T-shirt with that.
Bro, let me look at these comments right here.
Ben Shapiro, what did Ben Shapiro say?
Keeps talking about. Hold on, let me see just the mugshot one.
Oh,
he put too many freaking video posts, so I can't find it. But anyway, I was actually.
What the hell was that?
That was some.
Okay, never mind.
Hey, I was actually reading the comments on the Donald Trump mugshot, and people are like, "Yeah, I just spent like $400 buying all kinds of merch."
Damn.
I was like, "Damn, that's out of pocket. Like $400 on Donald Trump merch with the mugshot." And then those guys from Nelk Boys, they released their Donald Trump mugshot ones with the gangster glasses and like the weed and the. I was like, damn, bro, I almost considered buying one. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, like that'd be kind of gangster. But anyway, we got another thing. The liberals are super hot about a super known college, Johns Hopkins. It sounds like they used to do transgender. What do you call the transgender? I was gonna say warranties.
Warranty. If it doesn't work,
can I get a warranty on my machine?
What do you guys? Okay, so the transgender.
What? The
surgeries, right? Yeah. Don't they call them something different? Like what? There's a term
transitions.
For it. A transition, right? Yeah. So they say that it says Dr. Paul from Johns Hopkins Hospital said that they no longer are doing any transitions to people because they say that it's actually a mental disorder, and we shouldn't treat it by trying to manipulate your parts because no matter what, you're still not going to be who you want to be. It's like we can keep lying to you, but we're not treating the problem. And if you look at here at the article that they just dropped, he says he also reported that there was a study that showed that people who were like transitioning, they had a 20% or a 20 times higher rate of committing suicide after transitioning.
None of this is new information. I don't understand. What's the news here?
So there is no new information about this, but the thing is that it wasn't popular for colleges nowadays to go ahead and say, hey, you're having a mental issue, we should probably treat that. And they say that most people actually grow out of it. And you can see right here that basically what they're saying is that he says right here, a sex change is biological and impossible. It's people who undergo gender reassignment surgery do not go from being man to a woman or vice versa. Rather, they become feminized man or masculine women. Claiming, right? So right there it says that people are claiming that it's a civil issue. Therefore, they're kind of blocking people or like psychiatric places or whatever to actually tell them, like, dude, you're not who you think you are. Yeah. Right? He actually made an example here.
You are not him.
You are not him, boy.
You're not the guy.
No, she is the woman.
She is the woman.
So they're mad at the university because they came out and publicly said that you can't be a woman. You can't transition to a woman.
Yeah, well, look, it says that if you become, it says when you go in transition, you don't become a man or a woman. It says you just become a feminized man or a masculine woman.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically you a hoe. You feel me? That's what he said. But and they stopped doing those surgeries. And Johns Hopkins is like a huge place, and that's the reason why they're so mad. But that's what I was telling you guys earlier, that they're starting to push back on stuff.
Yeah, man. I hope I see more pushback on that. I think it's like the Bible says, man. Reprobate mind. God gives them up to their lustful desires, and He lets their mind be reprobate, which means mind that has no function. That's what the Bible says. Because of their sexual desires and sinful, wants, God just gives them up to their reprobate mind. And that's when the mind loses function, and that's where they go crazy like that. They think they're something they're not.
They probably think they're evolving into who knows what they should be. But like at the end of the day, like the guy said, you just want to become a feminized version of who you already are, or a masculine version of it. What do you think? Because I know that, what do they call him, Dr. Dino?
Yeah, Kent
Hovind. He used to be super big on like talking about evolution. He was talking about, the Big Bang Theory, debating people online. How do you think he would respond to these people who say, "Hey, I could be this, or I could be a woman, I could do that"? Like, how do you think he'd feel about that?
Strictly, you're delusional. Your mind has no function. That would be his answer. Yeah, straight
Does
up.
he have any debates about that?
Yeah, all the time. He debates about professors and all these, anybody that like these evolutionists and all that about this particular topic, and he tells them straight up, like, it's all it is you want to live on your own. You don't want no rules. You want to be God yourself because you think we're all gods, in our own way. And you believe you're taught evolution from childhood, and it works for you because you don't have nobody to answer to. So why not do whatever you want, And when God comes in the picture, you got somebody you're gonna answer to, and people don't like that. That's why they choose. They make a choice and they choose to go against it, And same thing with Sodom and Gomorrah. They were so bad that just the only option was to wipe them out.
Well, one thing that's kind of interesting, I'm not sure that there's any point in time, because, like it says that history repeats itself, and over and over things happen and they go down and correct themselves and whatever. But I don't know, is there ever a point in time recorded in history where we went through a phase where people wanted to be transgender and all this and that? Like, I know the gays have been there for forever. Or whatever, all these other things, the pedos and whatever. But
this has been going on for a long time.
But the trans thing has not been, has it?
Yes, it has been.
They had trans surgeries back in the day.
I don't know about the surgeries,
but that's what I mean. Like, I know.
The collapse of the highest civilization, even Rome, some of the biggest empires, were collapsed because of that.
How did that happen? Like, what do you mean that collapsed?
Pilate. The pilot, he was every woman's man and every man's man. That means he didn't have a preference. He had sex, and even in details, even children. So to him, it didn't matter if it's a man, woman, or a child. He was fine with to have sex with anything, And bestiality. You talked about bestiality even before the flood. Bestiality, sex with animals. That was before the flood. Before the flood was the same thing, gays, trans, all that. God wiped everybody out because they kept repeating the forbidden stuff,
Bro, it seems like every time a civilization reaches its peak, where they came from nothing, they built up and they become some of the strongest nation on the planet. They end up getting too comfortable to where they don't know what they're fighting for anymore. They're not fighting for freedom or for a way of life anymore. They're fighting for the lustful things that they want to do now.
Yeah.
Because they get bored. You're the strongest nation. Nobody's going to challenge you anymore. You have nothing to defend anymore. Now it's just, what do we like to do and what do we want to do? And it seems like every high-end, like the highest civilizations that we've had, always ended up peaking, and then it ended up crashing with the social acts that people do. Yeah. And it seems like it's always that. They always turn gay, or they turn trans, or they something like that, where it confuses the nation, and they ended up crumbling, fighting each other and crumbling at some point.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the fastest way to destroy a nation is to confuse them.
Yeah.
Because now you're not having if women could be with women, men could be with men. Now you're not repopulating people, right? Your nation starts to decline. Just like Elon Musk said that within like a few years or the next generation, we're not going to have enough people to run this country.
Yeah.
So now you're confusing all these people. They're not creating more people, and all the new ones, the new generation is gonna grow up being confused, not knowing how to actually like function in a normal society. You know,
Yeah.
that's the easiest way. You confuse the newest generation, they crash.
Yeah, and it looks like it's like an attack on a nuclear family.
Mm-hmm.
It's an attack on a mom and dad and a child.
Yeah,
You know, it's
It's
like
been an attack for a long time, yeah.
it's like a darkness attacking the nuclear family. You know.
Well, it's
and that's
kind
why
of
they're
like
pushing so hard for schools, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
Hitler said, "Let me control the young ones,
Mhm.
and I'll control their nation."
Yeah.
You know. So it's very easy. You get into the schools, you confuse the kids, and then now the next generation that's supposed to be the ones taking over the country and dealing with things, now they're confused. They don't know how to do it, and they just it's like taking candy from a baby.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, you guys saw what happened with China, right? Like, this is obviously not the same thing, but in a way, the Chinese came out and said, "Hey, we want the one child policy, right? Just want one child." Was it one or two? Was it one child policy?
I think it's a one, but it has to be. It was supposed to be a boy.
Right. So
Yeah.
they came out
First
with the
boys.
one child policy. They wanted to have boys. Well, bro, they probably massacred so many freaking kids because people were killing their babies
Exactly.
because they're like it didn't come out to what they wanted. And because of all that, even now, bro, there hasn't been that many babies. And now if you look at the population in China, is mostly made of old people. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, they're going to be a superpower and this and that," but it sounds to me like a lot of the stuff is shifting, and actually a lot of even manufacturers going over to India because they have a lot more population. When China right now, a lot of their people are starting to retire, and there's not enough young people.
Yeah.
Also, from what I understand, there's way more men in China, not enough women. So these fools are just like out there like dogs, like can't find a woman.
Why do you think they
The
invent all those?
testosterone.
They invent all those
Dolls?
robotic dolls. They try to make them look as real as
They
possible.
got the Barbies for reals. Like you don't even they made themselves women's.
Wow.
That's not normal, bro.
No.
Obviously, it's not
being-
normal.
Imagine being in a country where there's half of women for all the dudes out there. That's like it's a straight competition. Every time you step outside, you're trying to go find somebody.
Yeah,
Like,
at
no,
that
she's
point,
mine. Get out of here.
at that point, in China, because there's so many men and not enough women, it's gonna be the reverse Mormon, bro, where the women will have a bunch of husbands versus you feel me, unless the husband having woman or wives.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
It's crazy. I'm trying to wrap my mind around like this whole.
He couldn't imagine having like 5 women. So
No, it has nothing to do with women.
He ran out of
I'm talking about China. Like what are these dudes doing? You know, like there must be something that they
just don't ask, bro.
Yeah, I'll stop asking.
If you ask, you're gonna have to find out. You might not want to find out.
I don't
What are
wanna
they
know.
doing?
I don't want to.
They probably go over to Thailand, bro. Thailand's out of pocket.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like
Yeah, but they beef it with Thailand.
yeah, but
Bro.
they probably beef it because of that. They got hoes. They
Nah.
don't.
Bro, the question pops up in my head about China, bro, there's like, I'm sure there's beef between neighbors because, bro, one woman on a bunch of dudes, there's probably like cheating left and right and just drama, man. Like, otherwise, if there's more men and less women, bro, I can imagine what's going on over there. It's crazy, man.
Stop digging the hole.
Yeah.
He keeps digging his hole. What else are you wondering
He
about
keeps
China?
wanting to know what's going on.
What's going on? Next time we're gonna send you to China. You're gonna do a vlog and you're gonna let us know what happened.
Yeah.
You're gonna come back and inform
I don't think
us.
I want to do that. I'll come back with a new strain of COVID or something.
You'll bring back the China virus.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
where it shrinks your BB.
Hey,
Uh,
you'll disappear. Well, good shit, man.
But man, that's why I'm going back to the school and stuff, man. That's why Ken Hovind got locked up for 11 years, and he got out in 2016.
So that is kind of interesting. Why did Ken Hovind go to jail for 11 years?
Because he's against schools teaching evolution. That's a lie in the textbooks.
But how could you go to jail for that?
He didn't. He encouraged
They
people.
got him on tax evasion, bro.
Yeah, but what kind of tax evasion? That's the question.
The one that you evade the tax.
No,
Bro, he paid his employees cash because it was a ministry thing, from what I know, and then they got him on him hiding money or whatever.
The main thing what
wasn't.
he got arrested for, what they prosecuted him for, at 4:00 in the morning, just so everybody knows, 4:00 in the morning, he was in court with just the judge and the prosecutor. There was no trial, nothing. Anyways, they got him because he was against paying taxes that responsible for school, that support schooling. He was against that. He was encouraging people not to pay that part of taxes. He encouraged people to pay taxes, regular taxes, but the taxes that support the school, the teaching of evolution, teaching of lies in the textbooks, he did not support that. He's against that, and that's what they got him on.
Well, I think if you live in a place, like in the county or whatever, or a neighborhood, whatever it is, right, and you're paying taxes, if you don't have kids, first of all, I feel like you shouldn't pay taxes to the school because that's not you don't got kids. Why are you contributing to that? Okay, and secondly, if you do have kids and you want them to go to school, I think that the school should get the money from you if your kids go to that school, right? Because if I choose that I don't want to take my kids to this school, then I should be able to go to the next school. But guess what happens? So many people have to get stuck with some doo-doo ass schools, right? Or they have to lie that the kid lives with who knows who so they can go to a better school because they want to go into a different district. So now you're taking advantage of my money, but I don't agree with anything you're doing, right? So it's the same thing. I get why he did that.
But see, the main problem is the taxes. It would have been different if each county, whoever lives in this county, this zip code would contribute to this particular school that's in their county. But the problem is we pay taxes that go into the government, and the government pays certain amount of money to all the schools. But when the government pays to all the schools, they say what the teacher should teach, because that's where the money coming from. That's the problem. That's what Ken Hovind went against, is because all these schools are getting money. Why are the teachers and everybody complaining that they're not getting enough money from the government? People don't pay money to the school. The money is coming from the government. So the government controls what to teach. The government supplies the books and all of that. So we are automatically paying to the government, but the government decides how much money to give to each school.
Well, the government is always out of pocket. Like, for example, today I was having a conversation with somebody about child support, right? The government makes money off child support because supposedly every time they process payments for child support, they get the company or whoever does, the government like matches something with tax. They get money anyway. I don't know the details of it, but supposedly there's a benefit there. But in my opinion, like, because we're talking about how a lot of dads, they pay child support, and then they say that the mom wastes the money. Oh, the mom doesn't use it for the baby. She uses it on something else. I mean, I kind of get that part, but at the end of the day, shouldn't the mom be able to do what she wants with the money? Because either way, if I'm taking care of the child, I'm taking care of it. No matter what pocket I'm paying out of it, I'm going to take care of the kid. And if I use my money to take care of the kid, but now you're paying me child support, shouldn't I use it for whatever I want?
It's like a refund.
Yeah, shouldn't it? Because I know a lot of dads get mad, like, oh, I'm just going to give this BG the money so she can go and do her nails. But she paid to take care of the kid already out of her own pocket, so why does it matter where the money goes? What do you think of that?
I don't got no baby mama that I'm paying child.
No, but like if you had to, obviously.
I agree with that. I agree with the fact that, man, yeah, I know there's some mamas out there that are just
baby mamas.
Baby mamas. I wouldn't know about none of that, but that they don't care much about the baby, and they care about clubbing and doing their own thing and leaving the kids with the grandma or aunt or something like that, and it's all about the child, so it's sad to see those situations when
That is true. That does happen a lot.
It happens
All
a
these
lot.
hoes, they get the child support money,
Yeah.
and then they go out clubbing.
Clubbing.
They leave the baby with the grandma, and just like some of them don't even take care of the baby at all. They just collect that child support payment,
Yeah,
and
it's
they
like
go
a-
hoe around.
Oh yeah, because I know a couple girls that do that. Actually.
Girls are hoes.
Well, I was gonna try to keep it professional.
But,
Keep
you
it,
know, that's sad. Like it breaks my heart knowing that a child running around all day with a full diaper and nobody cares.
Mhm.
Nobody cares to take care of the child. You know, like I've seen situations. You know, my wife always, you know, sometimes watches like these cases. You know, where a child, you know, was found running around with a diaper and the maggots were in the diaper already. It was how many days was that diaper on the child? You know. That maggots already, you know, they opened the diaper.
That's
there was
pretty
maggots
wild.
there, you know. It's like, or another case like this woman literally poured food in a bowl like a dog, water, left a what was it, 2 or 3 year old child in the house and went on a vacation.
See, those
And they-
people
they
need to
found-
be locked up for give them 20 years at least.
Yeah, and they found the baby
18 years.
dead.
So the baby's
those
18.
are wild, bro.
They found the baby dead in the house.
Oh shit.
Because you know, and she came back from like before she even came back, the neighbor complained like, "Oh, I heard for a few days straight." She's like, "I heard the baby crying. I thought everything's fine, everything's good. I thought they got it under control, but then is all of a sudden it's quiet." And then she's like, I noticed that nobody ever leaves or goes in the house. So she's like, "What's going on?" You know. So she called for help, and they went in the house. Dead baby with dog bowl with whatever, you know. The baby was eating its own feces, like it was just bad, you know. Who does that? You
Those
know?
type of people.
I don't like watching stuff like that.
Yeah, those
Me
type of people
neither, but-
deserve to get executed, bro.
Yeah, me neither. But like, it's sad that it happens out there and nobody's doing anything about it.
You know
I
why
mean,
I think a lot
At
of
the
crap
end,
happens?
it gets done. You know, a person went to prison, but man,
Too late, yeah.
too late.
Bro, you know why I think a lot of crap happens in this country, specifically in this country? Because nobody's afraid of going to jail. Nobody's scared to get locked up or
Yeah.
what I'm going to do a year for something that I want to do now. There's no real punishment. Everybody could just do what they want. Like I saw a video today. Some freaking dude he was out on bond with he got caught armed robbery. And then the cops pull him over because he was out on the street looking like he was up to something. The cop was trying to like, "Hey, come here, bro. Let me talk to you." He was like, "No, I'm out on bond." He was like, "For what?"
Come on.
He was like, the cop was like, "For what? What'd you do?" He's like, "Armed robbery." He's like, "Okay, well, come here. Let me pat you down. If you don't got nothing, then there's no problem." He just takes off running. They chase his ass, whatever. He crawls underneath the house and stashes some weed or whatever. But he ran because he knew that what's the worst that can happen? What's the punishment? You know what I mean?
Yeah, go back to
You guys are either gonna catch me for my weed or you're not gonna catch me. That's the risk that I'm willing to take. So there's like no punishment. Just like the freaking protesters. Did you see the little protest that happened?
No.
So there's this protest. I can't remember where it was, but it was like on Indian reservation land or something. These idiots, environmentalists, they blocked the whole highway. It's a huge highway. It was blocked for like miles and miles. And they were just sitting there in the middle of the road, like on the floor, like, "No, we're here to protest the environment. We love the earth, and you guys need to quit it." Some bullshit like that. So they blocked the traffic for hours. Finally, the freaking what's that?
Ranger.
The ranger, but it's like the Native American land rangers, whatever.
Oh, yep.
Those fools came through and they didn't give a shit. They just like they came in and they smashed with their truck through their little barricade and just pushed it out of the way. And they came back, they did a little flip, threw their asses on the floor, and you just see them crying, yelling, like, "We're non-violent, we're non-violent." They're throwing their ass on the floor. Shut the hell up, get on.
Yeah, you go on the Indian reservation, boy, and you play them games, you ain't gonna play games after that.
Yeah, because the normal cops, I feel like, are so afraid to do anything because they're gonna get, I don't know, freaking protested and they're gonna lose their job. But the Indian reservation patrol, whatever those people are, those fools don't give a shit.
I heard that there's no like really rules out there like that. So you could just like, if you're on an Indian reservation, they can whoop your ass. They could do whatever. I mean, I don't know if they're allowed to kill you or nothing like that, but I'm sure that they can beat you. And I heard stories about in the casino, if you like cheat the system or something, they can grab you, throw in the basement, whoop you.
Good.
All that stuff, and then they just throw you out and you get banned.
Bro, like India, and you see the cops patrolling out there. They don't carry guns. They have these big ass sticks. They see you do something, they beat your ass.
Yeah,
Imagine
in public, in front of everybody, you just get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know,
I'm more scared to get my ass beat by a cop with a stick than to get arrested or to get a ticket. Yeah, thanks for my ticket, and then I get to talk as much shit as I want to the cop.
You know how it's
while
like
I'm getting
instant gratification when you do something, like instantly get the benefit of it. Don't you know? That's instant whoopidation. Like you getting whoopidation like on the spot. You're like, you already know the last time I got smacked, I had a bruise for like 3 months, so I ain't doing that.
If I catch you crack again, I'm gonna beat the dog shit out of you. You're gonna be walking around with crutches, bro. You're not gonna get caught.
I have a thought, man. When I was driving one night and I had an idea like come to me, bro. The easiest way to stop crime and make everything way different, change
Make it illegal.
Make it illegal. The easiest way, you know how they're trying to push the chip?
Yeah.
Bro, why don't you, the people that committed crimes, sex offenders, thieves, thieves, if it's something small, give them a fine. If they get caught after 3 times, like make it like 2 offenses or 3 offenses. Murderers, all those right away. You lost all privileges. Why don't you chip them? Any crime, if they're out there, any crime happens anywhere, look on the screen. Where was this dude at this time of the day? He was over there?
He's supposed to be on house arrest.
He's supposed to be at home. What is this chip doing around the crime scene?
You're starting to sound like the Antichrist.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un, what's wrong with you?
No, I'm talking about don't chip all the people. I'm talking about chip only the criminals.
What would Jesus do?
Chip all the criminals.
He would chip the criminals.
No, it doesn't have to be in the arm like the scripture says.
Okay,
put it up in
the leg. Oh, dude, that's invasive.
I got a better one. We scalp them, just like peel the top skin off, and then now you know who the criminal is.
Yeah, but this scalped criminal can come in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but you'll see his bald ass.
Yeah, you'll see his bald ass, but a single mother with kids in the house, that's not gonna make any difference.
Yeah, you're right. My thing's stupid.
A chip criminal, which means he's gonna think twice. First of all, that chip can read your blood. If you end up taking some kind of drug, we're gonna know about it. If you end up committing a crime, we're gonna know you were there and you did it.
What isn't that unconstitutional? He's over here trying to chip.
Aren't
people.
you a Republican?
Yeah, what kind of Republican are you?
Committing a crime is not constitutional. Bro. Like
you lose
we're
your
talking
rights?
about like
yeah, but you really gonna chip people?
Yeah.
That's taking it a long too far.
I'm sending this to Dr. Phil straight up.
No, I'm talking about like only criminals. If you
I know, but still, bro, chip them the criminal.
If you go and rape, that means you lost your privilege of being free. You lost your freedom. You need to go. And about rapists and stuff or child molesters, bro, right away, cut it off.
Bro, give them.
You can't use it. You don't need it.
Give them
cut it off.
the sex change.
Leave a tube. Let them piss out of a tube.
Give them the sex change
Take
operation.
it to
the government's trying to pay for it. Anyway.
Transition them, bro. Transition them.
Now you are transgender.
Now I'm for it.
Or do like what are those monks?
See, we never
spread.
Hey, we didn't know, but we've been for the transitions all along. We just want to transition the ones we want to transition.
Hey, I think crime would stop if you committed a crime. I think if you rape someone, you should just like gone.
Yeah.
But if all the other crimes, if you were forced to spread your legs and somebody just comes and kicks you in the sack a bunch of times, and that's your punishment, you probably wouldn't do a crime after that.
Bro, you know what? The thing that I can't stand about that, like rapists or whatever, I just don't understand how somebody could have the mindset that is gonna go and like force someone to like do it with them. That's just like I can't understand that. Like, how is it that you have that kind of evil mindset to force somebody? Like, how do you? First of all, that act is supposed to be like intimate with someone who wants you, likes you.
Yeah.
That's I don't even get how a man go and pay for like prostitutes? Like, how do you go out there and like literally pay this busy to have intercourse with you, thinking you're gonna get some satisfaction out of it when you know she's not there because she really wants you? It's like, I don't understand how people do that at all. Personally, I don't know.
You know how it starts? It's the same way that child predators get started too. They start with watching stuff. You watch things online, then you start fantasizing. Then they go out to parks and they watch people. They go see women in tight pants and all kinds of stuff like that. Then slowly they start to like have these fantasies in their head, and eventually they'll start to act like they'll start to follow them around, take pictures of them, all kinds of crap. And then from there, it's very easy to just get caught in the right situation for him to take advantage of that woman or whatever, the child or whatever.
That's how you know.
It's slowly, bro.
But even this, bro, it's got to be a mental disorder.
It is.
For you to like look at a kid and believe that you want to do something with them, or you want to even going out in public and trying to take pictures of women or whatever, that it's just weird. And I think it has to be some sort of mental disorder for you to like,
for sure,
like have that weird little like creepy ass freaking attitude. You know, it's like you out of pocket.
Yeah, and I've listened to a study that was done about that. You know, like you said earlier, it's all mental. It's all mental. They sit there and they're getting a kick out of it from first step by step. You know, first they sit there and they lust over just looking at it, and they're going, and then they start fantasizing it. And over a while, the fantasizing doesn't work anymore. Now they have to act on it.
Yeah,
and that's the only thing that will get them satisfied is if they act on it.
Yeah, and then when they do act on it, then it's too late, and they feel like, and that's why I feel like a lot of rapists end up killing the victim because they stepped over the line, and now they freak out. They don't know what to do. It's either you let them go and you deal with the consequences, or you just silence the whole thing and nobody knows. And then if they actually get away with it, which a lot of them do, then they get that rush where, well, I already got away with it once. I could do it again. It's not that big a deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. They want more. And it
sick.
doesn't stop until they get caught. So that's why I said I believe, like, you know, the world would be much better if they would just do the chip to the criminals only. You know, that way it's a chip that just sees and do like a, you know, like a punishment, you know. Okay.
So you're talking about putting a ankle bracelet on them, basically.
Yeah, like an ankle bracelet, but it's a chip that reads your blood to make sure if you're back on drugs, you know, to punish you for that. That way they're not, you know, hopefully he's not going to do drugs no more, or, you know, hopefully he won't go and kill somebody, and then it's a cold case, and who knows, and then the person already old, who knows how many people he already killed by the time they figure out that it's him, you know. But with the chip, punish him once, like, for example, you know, he spent 5 years in prison, like probation. Okay, you're gonna have the chip for 3 years. You know, get back on track, get on your feet, and you're gonna be tracked. 3-5 years go by, come in. If you're good, you never committed no crime, we'll take it out. You're back. You're good to go. You're good. But if you keep committing crime, then he's gonna stay with the chip, and that means it's just gonna show his location and check his blood, make sure he's not, you know, out of order. And I think like these kind of people, they should lose their ability of having freedom. We work hard, we provide for family, we have freedom. We should have the freedom. But the criminals, if they don't honor that, they shouldn't have it. They should have their freedom taken away, and even if they're out in the street, they should always keep it in their mind. If I go and break into that house and commit a crime, they're gonna know I was there. I'll think twice. I'll go rather sleep under a bridge or go find a job or something. You know, with the chip, with the ankle monitor, it's hard to get a job. But with the chip, nobody needs to know that you were a criminal or you came out of prison.
Well, I mean, when you apply for something, they ask you, you're a felon. What you know?
Well, I mean, he's saying if they didn't have the ask and you don't have to disclose it because the government already knows and keep an eye on you.
Yeah, they're keeping an eye on it. They don't have to disclose, but they could, but like the people that hire should know, like, hey, he was in prison, he's got the chip, I got nothing to worry about.
Okay, yeah. I get it.
He's being surveillanced, so I don't need to worry about him going crazy and doing something to my business.
I feel like that sounds like he is a little antichrist, but that does sound like a good plan because you would probably feel a lot safer knowing that every crack is accounted for.
Exactly, and it's like a punishment, man. Like, I don't like the fact that they arrest somebody for major crime and like a pedophilia or stalking or breaking and entering and raping, and they let that person out. And if you go online and put your zip code and see how many pedophiles and sex offenders around your area, what are they doing in my neighborhood?
There's a bunch, yeah. Right.
What
almost anywhere you look, they have some.
Why should I go on a website and see where they at? Oh, I gotta watch out for these areas, and I gotta I can't take a walk around the street with my kid, with my wife, or I gotta close the curtains every time or I can't leave the town because my wife is home with my child. No, I got pedophiles or.
And you know what would be freaking dope if they did that? If you go back to that chip thing, you should call him Elon Musk, tell him about it. But
hopefully he'll watch our podcast.
If they went back to the chip thing, right? Imagine if every single person who like had some crazy felonies or any kind of out of pocket stuff that is not acceptable, if they had that little chip, and every single time they came within like 20 feet of you, your iPhone would like beep and say you got a freaking Chester near you.
It's kind of like the COVID shit. You
like the COVID little beeper.
It'd be like beep beep beep.
You came in contact with COVID.
Yeah, with somebody that had COVID or whatever.
Yeah, damn, he is a freaking genius.
Exactly that. Like,
my lord.
I don't agree with everybody getting the chip. I don't like that invasion
that's
of privacy.
So you're only halfway antichrist.
It's not. It has nothing to do with antichrist.
It's communism, bro. With the program. What's wrong?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't understand.
Not communism. It's all about just keeping the evil under control. The people that are law-abiding citizen, good family people.
Should we start this beta program in Carolina?
It would be nice.
Do you have enough crackheads in Carolina to test it out?
Man, a lot.
Bro, there's crackheads everywhere.
Everywhere, man. It's so scary that they're in our neighborhoods.
So do you have a message to all the Ruskies from Sacramento that are moving to South Carolina? What message do you bring to them?
Do you want them there or not?
Don't do crack.
Do you want them there?
Not really.
Yeah. How do you feel about everybody in their
Give us a message that we can tell them to stay away. Like,
if you want the world
do
better,
not come here like Kamala Harris.
If you want to make your world better, fix your own household. And don't think that you can fix something by moving or changing your location.
Why do you say that? You thought of something when you said that.
For example, like I know some people from
Give us
Oregon.
some names.
Some people from Oregon.
Give us some names.
They were idiots in Oregon. They moved to South Carolina and now
they're still idiots.
Yeah, they're still idiots.
Oh.
And now there's mugshots of their ass on the website. now there's car chases, police chases. Now there's like they're ruined and everything. Nothing changed.
Why do they move if they're doing that? They can do that in Oregon. Yeah.
Do it where you're known.
Because the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. And I'm gonna go do it. You know how we used to do burn down on people's grass,
crime too.
Bro. At the Lake Jocassee, a beautiful lake, I used to be able to go there with the boat and chill, camp on the land. Now you can't.
Why? Because them?
Because a bunch of
tweakers,
Russians, whoever came there, started breaking trees, making campfires, burning down the landfill woods. So they banned any, like, if I want to camp in Lake Jocassee, I better be sleeping in the boat. I cannot anchor and sleep on land. So they have designated.
If those pieces of shit were chipped, we would know who it was.
Hey, but you see what I'm saying? Like people, a lot of times they talk crap about how in California we have so many rules. Bro, we got like 37 million people or some crazy number of people here.
Rules, yeah.
Imagine every dumbass that breaks a rule. I mean, that does something bad. Well, we gonna make a rule for that, right? Mm-hmm. Those idiots came and burned down the things on the island on the Lake Comassie or whatever it was called.
Jocassee.
They instantly came and made a rule: no more sleeping on the island. Now, no more island boys in Cali over there in in South Carolina. You know, so the island boys.
Rid of the idiots. No.
You know, all right.
That's like.
But that's
he's past his. past his.
Yeah,
That news didn't reach Carolina.
I guess.
You don't be up to date, huh? On stuff out there, they don't got TV.
They got TV.
Oh, okay.
They got TV. I just
You guys have running water?
Do you guys still use sewer? Not sewer. What's the toilet that you shit in the back in the little cabin?
Outhouses?
The cabin looking house, log house.
no, we got septic. We're good. We got septic.
Wow.
Oh,
Congratulations.
I'm so happy for you.